Let's get active into the next video. This one comes from me, actually. I made a video somewhere. Let's look for it. I made a video about trespassing. I deal with a passive trespasser. That means somebody that's willing to work with you, not somebody that's being violent. And this is just a basic, guys. This is just a basic right here. Let me see. Okay, we're streaming it. Sorry. So how to remove a compliant trespasser, SOP for building management and security.
How to remove trespassers from your property. Advancing Security's 8 simple step SOP for a compliant trespasser. First, make sure your company and clients want you to enforce trespassing removal in writing and have the laws on hand just in case you have two-sided. 2. Verify the area you're securing is owned or rented by your client. 3. Always get verbal confirmation from management before escorting anyone off-site. 4. Log the time and who you spoke to before enforcing any policies. 5. From afar, observe the trespasser's behavior and surroundings. Check for weapons, concealed items, or if they have company with them. 6. Call a trusted coworker to act as an eyewitness if possible. 7. Maintain a safe distance and use your flashlight to catch their attention. Aim for their waist or feet, not their eyes. Introduce yourself and the situation, then kindly ask them to leave. 8. Gauge their response and decide on your next steps, whether it's calling your supervisor or taking further action. Remember, be confident, take notes, use customer service skills, and trust your judgment. Keep advancing.
All right, guys, let's go into this step by step. I did this video right here about trespassing just so there could be a basic outline of how to deal with trespassing for security, so companies can look at it and pass the video forward to the employees. Now, this is a pretty general thing, right? And from there, what you would do with this information I provided you guys, you would customize it for your particular post on how to deal with things. But what I want to do right now is talk about the why behind every one of these steps. So we saw the video once. Now we're going to go break it down into detail so that we can have more information. So I can provide you with more information.
How to remove trespassers from your property. Advancing Security's 8 simple step SOP for a compliant trespasser. First, make sure your company and clients want you to enforce trespassing removal in writing and have.
Why do you want to have that in writing? Because you got to cover yourself. You need to cover yourself, guys. Don't go around assuming that your client owns the property, that they know what's going on, that they want you to trespass somebody. Because when you're escorting somebody out of a building, there's problems with that sometimes. You don't know what kind of conditions they're in. You don't know what can possibly happen afterwards.
Have the laws on hand just in case you have two-sided.
Yeah, and having the law or having it memorized or having it like in some kind of laminated form in your pocket will allow you to sound more efficient. Will allow people around you to understand, okay, this guy's not a Joe Schmo security. He's not an average guard. He's somebody that knows his job well.
2. Verify the area you're securing is owned or rented by your client.
Guys, sometimes security guards are patrolling a particular area that's not owned by the client. For example, I saw a reaction the other day. What was it? It was somebody recording the migrants in New York within public space. I think it was Audit the Audit. I can't remember, but it's one of those good channels on YouTube that talk about laws and stuff like that. And pretty much the guard was telling the film to leave, that you cannot record in front of the building. And he was standing on the sidewalk in public property. The guard has no reason to be there in front of the building besides not understanding their job. And maybe the client says, yo, I need this guy to leave. But if you were real security and you understood, the laws, you'd be like, I cannot tell him to leave. I can ask him, but we cannot force him to leave public property. That's public property. I'm protecting this building. Once I leave the threshold of the building now, I'm no longer protected by you, the company, and by the agency that hired me. And now everything's on me. All liabilities on me. So you have to make sure they own the property or they renting the property.
3. Always get verbal confirmation from management before escorting anyone off-site.
Unless you're already management, you're a top tier guard, you've been working there for a while, and you have the utmost, what they say, they respect you, the client trusts you 100% and 10%. Do your best to not make moves on your own, like getting somebody to leave. You want to report it as soon as possible and get confirmation that they want you to escort this person out of the building, because now that's part of your job. That's part of your job, to get this person out of the property. Now, if something were to happen to you where you have to count on workers' comp, you're injured, you're protected. Not only by the law, you're protected also by the state. You're protected by the company.
4. Log the time and who you spoke to before enforcing any policies.
You guys got to keep track of what you're going to do, because there's a lag, right? You're choosing when you're going to go towards this person and say you have to leave the building, you have to leave the area. You're deciding that at that moment. Take 30 seconds, write what you have to write down right there and then, and confirm, who told you that you have to get this person out of there. Because now there's another layer of protection for yourself as a guard.
5. From afar, observe the trespasser's behavior and surroundings. Check for weapons, concealed items, or if they have company.
So there's a legendary 21-foot rules for law enforcement, which is pretty much within 21 feet, a person with a knife can come at you, even though you still have a gun, and you can fire maybe in time. 21 feet, you could sprint that within 1.5 seconds to like 3 seconds. While you're fumbling and your adrenaline is pumping up and you're nervous, you're trying to get your gun out of your holster, right? So this is why I say from afar, you want to observe. You want to see if there's people around them. You want to see if they're holding anything in their hands. You want to observe if anything is poking out strangely from like under a baggy shirt. You want to observe before you approach them to optimize your safety.
With them. 6. Call a trusted coworker to act as an eyewitness if possible. 7.
You want this as much as possible. When you're about to trespass somebody, you want your teammate, you want to create staff members as teammate, fake like security, because you need an extra pair of eyes. Those extra pair of eyes can help you in court. Those extra pair of eyes can help you, depending where they are physically and mentally, if there's a fight breaks out. If they're not fighters but they're good observers, they could tell you, hey, you got a friend is about to hit you from behind your back, or he's reaching for something, or she, whatever, right? An extra pair of eyes is going to help you. It's like when you have a boxing coach, you're in the middle of the ring, you can't see everything, right? But the coach is further away. They have broader view. They can see the entire picture.
Maintain a safe distance and use your flashlight to catch their attention. Aim for their waist or feet, not their eyes.
You do not want to aim for their eyes, guys, unless you're trying to escalate, which I don't recommend. You want to aim for their waist, for their feet, and the whole thing. The flashlight is an attention getter. I like how this guy's holding it here. It's very important because that allows you to react in a combat manner if you have to, right? You're trying to de-escalate, trying to catch their attention so you can approach them from a safe distance. The closer you get to them, the higher the risk is for you to be able to defend yourself.
Introduce yourself and the situation, then kindly ask them to leave. 8. Gauge their response and decide on your next steps, whether it's calling your supervisor or taking further action.
So last one is next step. What is that? Depending on the circumstances, it will lead to like physically removing them or calling the cops. But you have to really look at them. Are they drunk? Are the words slurring as they speak to you, or they respond to your commands or the information you're providing them? Like, what's really going on there? All right, let's leave it there, guys. Take care of yourself. Love you. So if you found value in this type of content, press like, leave a comment down below saying thank you. Gracias.